Hi, I'm Richard, and welcome to another edition of YOLO RV Adventures. This one's a DIY. You know, everybody loves to be on a swing, on a hammock or something, but sometimes you don't have any trees to hang it from. And my wife wanted to put a swing in our backyard, so I decided to build a pergola, which will give us some shade as well as some comfort. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you just how I did it. Here it is set up as a swing. Very, very steady, very sturdy. The two posts are going into the ground, into cement, about 3.5 feet into the ground, with some J-hooks that prevent the uplift. If we get some uplifting winds, this isn't going anywhere. It's very steady. So on day one, I dug the holes, measured them out, put the sonar tubes in for the cement, and cemented them in place and let them set overnight. On the second day, I cut all the pieces to size with all the bevels and so on, and I'll show that in the video coming up. That took a day, maybe a little more than a day to do. On the third day, I assembled all the pieces, bolted them in, made sure that everything is square and plumb, and that took a day to a day and a half to get done. You can choose to pre-stain the lumber. I use pressure-treated outdoor lumber. You can pre-stain it after you've cut it, or as I did, just built it and then I'm going to stain it tomorrow. This is the stain that I used. It's a waterproofing stain and sealer, and I had it tinted to match the color of the house. It goes on easily, and you can use any kind of stain of this type. The assembly was about 5 days. If you're doing it alone, if you have some assistance, it can cut down the time. My wife had to help me a little bit with a couple of the pieces, but we did get it erected and had no problem. The cost of the total project is about $800 for the materials, including the swing here, which is $100, and about $700 for the lumber and the lag bolts and all the other hardware that you need to put it together. I will list all the materials down below with the specifications that I used. The main post was 6x6. You may choose to use a 4x4. I just wanted to make it very, very sturdy and last a long, long time. I don't have any plans per se, but I'll put in some sketches. But the video is pretty self-descriptive in terms of how I built it, and I think you'll be able to follow along fairly easily. You also have the ability to use maybe some rough sawn cedar, which is also available. That will add a little bit to the expense, and it's a personal preference. Eventually, Virginia, my wife, will plant climbing rose bushes on each end of the pergola. They'll climb up the pergola, and hopefully it'll create a nice arbor. So with the shade of the pergola and the rose bushes, it should have a nice, pleasing effect in the yard. This was a fun project. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to make a comment, I will read all the comments and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have. And have a great day, and thank you for watching. After completing my materials list, I went online with Home Depot and put my order in. It was only $79 to have it delivered to my house, and given the amount of wood and how heavy it was, I thought that was a pretty good idea. So in a day, the truck arrived, and I got my materials. It was pretty quick. I don't think he was in front of my house more than 10 minutes. Got his forklift off the truck, lifted my materials, put it in my driveway, and off he went, and I was ready now to start my project. So now I had materials in my driveway, and I had to get them into the backyard. It was kind of daunting. I thought I would be able to go over the grass, but that was a little difficult. I took one load over the grass, and then I decided that that wasn't the way to go, and actually I brought everything through the house, which made it much, much easier. Part of the preparation is getting all your tools. So I've got a cable saw, and I got my plans, my drills, my impact drills, saws, levels, extension cord, everything that I need. So Virginia identified the spot where she wanted to put the swing in the pergola, and so then I had to mark it out. So remember that the sun goes from east to west, so you want to orient your pergola in such a way that you get the most shade. I had some white pipes that I had in the garage, and I used them as stakes to mark out the position of the pergola. I wanted to be center on the window that was in the background, and I wanted it to be about 10 feet wide, so I put some stakes in the appropriate places in the ground and then ran string to give me a guide. I determined where the hole was going to be, and I used some Sonner tubes, cement tubes, and I made them about 4 feet deep. I marked the place, and then I dug the hole. I put the sod aside to be used later to cover after the project was completed. After I had the 2 holes dug, I made sure that I ran a string across them to make sure that when I put the posts in, that they were absolutely in line with each other and not twisted. The main support posts I used were 6 by 6, and they were 10 feet long. And I dug the hole about 3.5 feet deep, and that gave me about 6.5 feet to the top of the post, which gave me enough headroom after I added the other layers. I put some hooks on here, so sort of J hooks, so when the cement is, it'll prevent it from lifting. Adds a little more lift safety to it. And on the bottom of the hole, I put some gravel and a block so that the water can flow out, and it keeps the end of the beam off of the water. In order to get the post plumbed upright and square, I used 4 straps. Those are the orange straps with ratchets on them, and as I had to adjust, I just ratcheted one way and ratcheted the other. Just as an added note, you want to make sure that the tops of the posts are level, so you should run a string across the top of the posts with a level, and then add rock to the bottom of the post that is the shortest, and to bring it up so that all the tops of the posts are level. So it's all plumbed, level, and braced, and getting ready for the cement to go into the tubes. Once I had it plumbed with the straps, I put those side braces on and then ran a string to make sure that they were square. And then just for an added benefit, I put that 2x8 up there temporarily just to hold it steady. So let's start pouring the cement. I used a 80-pound bag of cement for each one of the holes, and it worked fine. As you're mixing the cement, remember to use the right amount of water, and less water is better because it makes it much stronger, so make sure it's pasty like peanut butter. Now it's time to cut the cross pieces. You're going to need 4 of these, and they're 6 feet long, 72 inches. And you're going to cut a bevel by coming down 2 inches and then a 45-degree angle. And remember, you need 4 of these. After you've cut the 4 cross pieces, then you mount them. Find the center and put in 2 of the lag bolts, the 5/8 by 5-inch lag bolts into the post. You're going to install 2 on each post, one on the outside of the post and one on the inside of the post. Make sure they're even and make sure they're level. I hope you enjoyed this video so far. Please give me a thumbs up, make a comment below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It'd be very helpful to help build my channel. Thank you. Next is to cut the diagonal support pieces, the 4x4s or the 6x6, depending on what you use. They should be 40 inches long, and then 2 bevel cuts at 45 degrees, and you're going to need 4 of these. Got to cut a 40-inch piece of this 4x6. It's got to have 4 cuts. So we're going to cut 2 45 degrees. These bevel supports are now mounted with a 10-inch bolt on the bottom and up top 2 more lag bolts. Make sure they're absolutely square and in between the 2 cross end pieces. This will give it great support and aesthetically very pleasing. Now is the time to mount the 4x8 cross pieces that connect between the 2 posts. You can bevel them by going in 2 inches and then doing a 45 degree. I didn't choose to do that because I didn't have the length to do it. But once they're mounted on top, use these offset brackets, 2 on each end, and then there are 4 of these cross pieces down the middle. Make sure that they're all spaced evenly apart. The final thing to do now is to put the 2x4 cross pieces that form the pergola and the shading on the top. The ends of each of the 16 or 18, depending on your size of your build,
have to be beveled at 45-degree angles to give it the same effect as the other bevels. Then they are placed on top, and they are 4 inches apart or 3.5 inches apart. Make sure that the overhang is the same on the front and the back, and nail them with the 3-inch screw nails to a joist. Nail them all in, and it should look good.
This was a fun project. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to make a comment, I will read all the comments and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have. And have a great day. And thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and you'll get notified when the next video is posted. Thank you for watching.